Okay. Here we go. Says recording. Let's go. Danny Dekker,
Yes.
co-founder and chief operating officer of Westchester FSC, the new
Yes.
professional soccer club since 2024 of the Westchester County in New York. Welcome to the Sport Business Podcast. It is a pleasure to be hosting you today.
Pleasure is all mine. Pleasure is all mine.
So after a 20-year career as head of sales in the sales world and industry in Europe, working at the highest level, also in the United States, you previously an athlete, and what draw you to today becoming a co-founder of a professional soccer team in the United States in a growing league like the USL?
Yeah, being born in the Netherlands myself, of course, we always play soccer. I mean, I think we're born with it. So did I. I think decent, but not good enough to become a pro. Never. So I think I stopped the game at age around 16, 17. Finish my school and indeed start working in finance for a long time. But during my whole the whole period I was playing soccer and I was working, I had a lot of connections in the industry in the Netherlands. Um, and that I never used it. I never did anything with it. I always love to talk about the game, talk about tactics, talk about players, talk about everything, but I never used it. So I just started working in finance in Amsterdam, in London, and in Brussels, and I it was I don't know I think it was around the year 2021 when I got an opportunity to take over the New York Dutch Lions. Dutch Lions is an organization, a club basically that holds multiple semi-pro teams in the US, in the USL2, in the UPSL, NPSL, women's teams. So I was able to get the New York Dutch Lions, and that made me realize that the game, as you said, is growing rapidly in the US. And I think there's still so much growth in the game here in the US that it made me realize, I think it was 2021, that I I I simply wanted to know more about it. So after our season in 2021 with the New York Dutch Lions, I came back later that year to arrange some fields for the next summer. And it was basically all of a sudden when I realized I wanted a pro team here in the US. The game is so much, there's so much to win here on every side, on the player development, academies, way of playing. There was so much to win that I said I want a pro team, and the first thing I did, because it's funny, where I mean I think more people think about that they want a pro team, but I just did some research, and the USL is a rapidly growing league that is actually very it's a sustainable league. That's most important in the US. You have many leagues, but many fall also. They all fall through. And you have the MLS, which is very sustainable, and the USL and the rest. So I wanted to do it in the USL, and I saw an opportunity in the USL one. I just emailed the league. It's it's funny. It's just a simple email with the question, "Hey, I want a pro team. What do you need?" Uh, Funny thing about that is, years later, I spoke to the guy that helped me in the first communication with the league. He was from the league and he reached out to me. He said, "Do you realize that that email that you sent was actually the most horrible email we received? A simple thing is they normally receive an email with full ownership group. They know their market, they know where they're gonna play, they know everything, and still a lot of requests get rejected." And he said, "I saw your email and something triggered him to answer it. And like, what does this guy really want?" And once I got in contact with them, they said, "Well, it's not that easy. You have to fulfill a whole list of it's a tick the box thing that you all have to tick." And I'm like, "Okay, give me just let me know what I need, and I will work on it." And that took me, I think, around 2 years working on everything, finding a stadium, finding a location, make sure that everything the league wants is in order, and then also logistically wise, you have to have a plan how to acquire players, a plan how to run the club. Everything needs to have a plan. I was working on everything, and the last thing I needed on that list was find a local principal owner. The USL wants principal owners to be local. They want the league that is basically carried by principal owners who are local, and that also gives more, I think, body to the team, to the ownership group. So that was my last thing, was find a principal owner. And I think it didn't took me that long, knowing also the Westchester area is a very affluent area. There are many people that used to live in Manhattan and now live here in Westchester. There's more space, more green. So I was not worried about finding my principal owner. And indeed, after I think a month, 1.5 months later, I found my business partner, Mitch, who is the principal owner, and together with the co-founders of the team. And yeah, since then it's a freaking roller coaster. Insane, actually, what all comes on your path by building a pro soccer team.
And so
So yeah.
from the sales career that you built, what were the attributes? What were the main 2 or 3 attributes where you said, I'm ready to operate and run and found and build this professional soccer team and to the most successful and highest level that I can?
Yeah, that's the one of the first things that I always carry with me is that and that sounds maybe strange, but I'm a good person. I'm good in leading people, getting people behind me, and I have a lot of empathy for other people. I never shout to people. I'm never angry, and I do get what we need. And that's because I have a lot of empathy. I help everybody. Nothing is too big or too small for me to do. Uh, like yesterday, I was in our storage room doing the inventory for merch. I don't mind if people need help. I always help. If I have time, I'll be there. I always listen, and I always let people do their job. I always say, "All right, you're responsible." Let's say, let's go to, for example, the coach, the head coach. He's responsible for the results. Uh, I'm the guy that still works next to him on the admin and operational side to make sure the players have everything that they need. And I work together with him, even if the results are sometimes not what we want. I'm not going to tell him what he should do. I'm not going to get angry. I more empower him to make his own decisions. And the thing is, in the end, and that's I think it's part of life, you're always responsible for your own results. So you should get all the tools and all the empowerment that's needed to create your own best results. That you never can say, no, I didn't get the results because of X, I didn't get the results because of Y or Z. I empower people and I help them. They can always call me. If you need something, if I need to drive to the stadium to pick up a heavy box, I'll do it. That's they know, and I'm responsible that this whole club operationally is running smooth. And yeah, that's one. I have a lot of empathy for people, and I work hard. That's Then two is I'm not afraid for a no, which helped me during my sales career. I did cold calling, 100 calls a day minimum, a lot of no. I don't care about no's. If I'm not afraid to ask people something, even if you are 99.9% sure it's a no, I still do it, still try it, I still push it to get a yes. And if it's not working, I don't feel rejection or whatever. I don't care. I just want it is how I did 100 calls a day. People say no, no, I'm not interested. No, leave me alone. It's fine. All's fine by me. It's not personal. There's always because as a person, I'm a good guy, so I know it's never personal. So the not afraid for no actually helps me in everything. Helps me in difficult conversations because sometimes you have to. A few days ago, we had to release a player. That conversation is horrible to release someone for his future. Uh, um, it not hurts me, but it does something with me if I have to tell, if I have to release people. But in the end, I'm not afraid for that conversation because I'm used to. I always call it negative conversations, like the no's and people don't want to do business with you. Fine. I always keep talking and try to give it a positive, make it a positive conversation as much as possible. I mean, releasing someone, there's not much positivity in it. But still, what we did, the guy could stay till the end of this month. So not immediately till the end of the month. Give him some time, give him some ease in his mind. He still has a month of salary, which if you look at the contract, we could release him and just say the next day you're out. That's the empathy part that I possess. I don't want that for people because I neither do I want that to happen to me or the people I love that happens. So I'm not gonna do it to others. And I think the hard work helps me a lot now because it is a lot. It's insanely a lot. I didn't expect it was this much, but working in so I worked in sales, in finance, and it was based on the UK system, which they work hard, long, and have a lot of high KPIs all the time. So I'm used to just always doing extra at home. Uh, at home where my oldest back then he was I think a few months old, sleeping, doing stuff, still working for lead sourcing, finding new companies, finding new things to go. I was always working and balancing life. So that hard work now really pays me off because I'm used to it. I don't mind doing it.
Learning the story was the reason why I started this podcast to learn about the leadership behind the founders in the business of sports. So I love that we touch on the leadership characteristics of a leader like yourself in the sports and entertainment business industry in North America. And now is the time to discuss how this leadership is transitioned to building Westchester SC. So it didn't take you long to find a principal and majority owner, but what is so you outlined the vision. Where did the vision for Westchester SC start? What was the main motive? Was it because you saw a future for the youth talent that could be raised from Westchester because Tyler Adams was a player that grew up in the Westchester County and now is one of the top American players and in Europe and for the United future of the United States? Or was it because the community of Westchester needed a a team, a professional team to support? What was the motive to begin and execute on the vision?
It's funny because it's both basically. One, yeah, Tyler Adam is also part of our ownership group, which we're very happy with. Um, it's both. If you look at the Westchester area, and then the way how we approach it, we look at the New York area. There live many people in the New York area, and then if you look at the Westchester area, there is a lot of soccer here going on, really a lot. It's there are not even enough field. There are a lot of fields, which is not enough to accommodate all soccer academies that are around here in Westchester. It's always a fight for fields. We say the field stuff is a war because so many people play soccer here in Westchester. That also means if you have so many people playing soccer in Westchester, there are a lot of raw talents. And then you bring it to the next one, like you said, there is no opportunity for raw talent except driving an hour and a half to Red Bulls like Tyler Adams did, driving even now longer for New York City FC, that's also an hour and a half. For people in the Westchester area, there was nothing to go to what actually gives a pathway to pro. And so we are the first grassroots Westchester professional sports team. I need to say independent sports teams. Reason, we have the Westchester Knicks, which is basically an affiliate of the Knicks, and they play J League, I guess, but it's part of the Knicks. We are independent. We are just us, and we're the only independent sports team in the Westchester area, professional sports team. And it's insane that they are living. If you look at where we play, if you draw a line, if you make a circle of 30 minutes driving, 4 million people live there, 45 million.
1 million people in Westchester County.
Now in the if you look at
New
Mount
York area.
Vernon where we
New York
play,
area.
yeah,
New York
if
area.
you get the Mount Vernon stadium and you draw a line of 30 minutes, then you also hit parts of the Bronx
Okay.
and you hit parts of New Jersey. That's 4 to 5 million people. Westchester County on itself has more than 1 million.
Okay.
And there was nothing here, which is, if you look at it, it was crazy that there was nothing. It's like we always call it the perfect storm was here. This is the eye of the hurricane. It's silent. It's the perfect. It's perfect here. And so there's a lot of talent. We had our tryouts a week ago for our academy.
Right.
We have an academy also, and we had tryouts. 750 kids showed up. This is our first tryout, and that's for the whole region. That's already the most people had in a tryout. That shows that how much this was needed in the area. And yeah, so it's giving the players, the real talents, an opportunity uh, and a full pathway to pro from academy, all ages, all up to the first team, which is pro. And it also gives Westchester, the area Westchester itself, their own sports team, their own sports franchise, which that's why the name is Westchester SC. It bears their name. It's for them. It's made for the community. This whole club is made for the Westchester area, so they have something to be proud of. They have a team to root for. That's the whole idea.
And you know, Danny, the model in the in Europe also and how it works because you played in it when you were younger and where academies is a must-have for the professional teams, and there are academies also for non-professional teams. So in the United States, now it's a system that has to be put in place, and for the academy to work and develop players for the first team, which get signed on later to bigger leagues. But is there an academy model that you looked up to or you studied to apply to Westchester?
Yeah, yeah, we did, and it needs to be a hybrid construction. Let me take you back to the beginning of that academy and how it goes here. So here in the US, well, I'm not a huge fan of. It's basically a pay-to-play model. Parents pay an insane amount of money to have their kids play for an academy. Coming from Europe, where my kids, I have 3 kids, they play in the Netherlands. I pay, I guess, maybe 120, €125 a year for my kids to play there. Here in US, it's common that parents pay around 3K, 4K a year, so 3,000, $4,000 a year for their kids to play. I don't like it. Thing is, if you look at, it's not the academy's fault. It's the cost that comes with running the academy. Looking at all the numbers, you actually spend a lot of money on running an academy. Serious, a lot of money, which results in having having to ask a lot of money for players to play for your academy. Because you need to sustain the academy, it needs to also generate revenue. And I don't like the model. So what we're working with is we're trying to step away from the model, which is nearly impossible. Let me start with that. The cost of field, the cost of traveling, the cost of whatever is needed, insurances, paying coaches, everything. It's through the roof here. All the prices, especially in the New York area, insane. What we want to do is, yeah, we want to create an academy, as all academies, everybody plays, and they need to pay. The thing we're trying and we're working on it is create. It's funny because we still have no name for it, but I always use the Manchester United Academy name, Center of Excellence. That comes from, we have one of our uh, owners, minor owner, is Kevin Grogan. He played in the academy of Manchester United, was signed by Alex Ferguson, but got an injury which his career never really took off. But for him being in that academy, we have insight in how that is built, especially in those years at Ferguson. And the center of excellence is what they had. Those were the best of their age groups, and they got everything. And what we want to try and translate is create a center of excellence for our academy where somehow we can get them to play for free by getting sponsorships, getting, I don't know, we're still trying to figure out to create a center of excellence where parents don't have to pay, but it also doesn't hurt our revenue. So with a sponsorship or whatever, but that's something we're working on, and it's the same that goes with Ajax because we took Manchester United and Ajax for this. Ajax have only one team in every age group. It's the best you can find in the Netherlands. The best of the age groups, they're there. Everybody wants to play there, and that's what we want to achieve. We want the center of excellence should be the best of their age groups. Everybody wants to be part of. And even if you're now in the paying academy, you always have an opportunity to reach that. And maybe it goes in a step-by-step phase, but it's something we want the best players from Westchester to come to us and not go to Red Bull or City. And the thing that helps us is, again, the USL is doing a great job. The USL implemented promotion relegation coming in 2028 and also Division 1 coming. So then we have Division 1, 2, and 3. With us being able to promote to Division 1, you can tell players you can actually start in our academy and become a Division 1, the highest level in the US, pro player. I think that's huge.
Is that one of the motives for the community ownership model that was launched?
Yeah. The motive is we want to be a club for the community. We always said that. That's why the name doesn't have any gimmick behind it. We're not the Westchester Rockies or anything. We're just Westchester SC. It's for everybody. We when we were thinking of the name, it was hard because first we were like going for a gimmick name. Like we were thinking of Westchester Sound because the sound, you have the Sound Shore in Westchester, but it's funny, it's only the east part is the Sound Shore. So what we do with the west part, they don't feel sound, right? They're like, yo, that's not us. We're on the other side. So we didn't want to give it any gimmick name. And that's it's for the community. Everybody should feel welcome to come to the games, to have their kid on in our academy. Everybody should feel welcome to whatever to interact with us it is for the community. That's why we launched this whole community investment also, where you could actually own a piece of the club.
Yeah, and I saw that model for the first time when I was younger and watching Ted Lasso.
Yeah.
And where at the end the club becomes for the
Yeah.
fans, for the community. And when we spoke about how you built the vision and the academy, so it starts from the grassroots and involving the community. Now, if we speak about the investment opportunity in the USL landscape and how you um, can you explain to us how the community ownership model is better and what is its pros and cons and why it's better than just a typical ownership model that you see in professional sports.
I think it's funny. I think the one is not better than the other. I think it's what you want to achieve with the club. What our vision and our model is community ownership. And of course, we have a principal owner. We have me as second largest shareholder and a few other minor shareholders, which will call the shots. We will set out everything and we will make the decisions for the club. What it does help is that you have more people feel attached to your club. So your fan base is, first of all, your fan base, your community is stronger because people are actually part of you. They own parts of you, which it creates, for us, it creates a stronger community, but it also creates much more brain power, I always say. And what I mean with that is there are always people that did a small investment or bigger investment via the crowdfunding, that they interact with us with ideas. They interact with us with, I can help. They interact with, I know someone. And that helps a lot for us. It gives us more brain power. Sometimes we get a message from someone who is indeed bought via the crowdfunding uh, uh, some ownership and reached out with a great idea, an idea we wouldn't know if he was not part of us. And maybe he wouldn't even think about before he became part of us because, yeah, you're not going to think for a club like, oh, they should do this. But when someone is really involved, it gives them like, hey, I'm part of this. They feel part of it. They have their own seats in our stadium. We have a section for them, and we're gonna build that out. We now first the first game it was a section, and we need to figure out that because we want to be, yeah, we want to cater to them. We want to give them indeed not worth their money because it will be that's this investment. The value of the teams uh, grows rapidly in the US, but also that they feel part of it. They feel special because they are part of our ownership group. They are owners of the team. It doesn't matter how small it is, they are owners. And we want, yeah, so I think it gives us brain power. A lot of people are now reaching out. Hey, I bought some shares. What I was thinking, I can do X, Y, and Z. And the funny thing is, they don't ask money for it because they feel the part of us. They just want to help us. So we actually, I think we already, yeah, I don't know. I'm just surprised that it really gets carried by the community. People really feel part of it. I think that's the huge win. Then you get the on the other side, if there's only one owner, you see it. I think it's not nice to say. Manchester United is an example of where it goes wrong if
Yeah.
you have not many owners. If someone or a family owns everything and they don't, I'm not going to say they don't do it right, but they have no one to fall back on, no one to correct them, no one to help them, no one to think of other ideas. Then you get what Manchester United is now. Number 14, 15 in the Premier League. It does reach Europa League final. I hope for them that they win. Otherwise, number 15 in the Premier League. If you said 20 years ago, Manchester United becoming number 15 in Premier League, you would just laugh. You were like, never, never will that happen. The biggest club in the world won't happen. And this you see it, and it seems like they can't steer the ship because the whole organization as it is now, led by I will call it a few guys, it doesn't create the right environment.
That's a very, very, very interesting conversation about Manchester United's ownership, since Ratcliffe is known as the wealthiest man in the United Kingdom. And he owns the cycling team of
Yeah,
Great Britain as
yeah,
well. But his first mission was to cut absolutely every single type of cost. And that's a very interesting ownership model to discuss, of course,
yeah.
Danny. But we'd love to also learn, how do you execute on now promotion relegation has been installed in the American professional soccer landscape. You definitely have set up a plan to arrive at Division One, and how do you execute now daily for to reach the plan? How do your daily operations look like to educate the audience of young professionals and executives who want to become like yourself?
Yeah, the Division One, it's huge. Promotion relegation, and with Division One coming, that's yeah, it is huge for the US. I think not many people in the US fully understand that promotion relegation is an emotional roller coaster. And we in Europe, of course, we're born with it. Promotion relegation is part of the game. That's what creates love and hate sometimes between the fans and the clubs. Yeah, how to reach that? It's interesting because promotion relegation will come in 2028 and 2027, 2028. The thing is that we need to be ready, and it's silly actually to say because every team will have the same vision for it. You just play your league games as they are. Try to win the league always, but making huge investment or adjustments for the team, not yet, because you need to be ready for when the year promotion relegation comes. I mean, winning the title before promotion relegation doesn't bring you anything. Winning the title with promotion relegation brings you a league up, which creates a whole different story again. So I think it will be interesting. The last season before promotion relegation, I'm really interested to see how is everybody acting. All the clubs are there investing already? Are they having contracts for multiple years with great players? Because that's it, right? You need the promotion relegation year. If you can build the best squad, and that's what we're already planning now. We're already working on the squad for that year because that's the year you can promote, and we're already clearing more budget for it because it's an opportunity. And in the US, from the third division to the second division, that's $1 million value change, a lot of $1 million value change for the franchise value.
And
And yeah, please. And so yeah, it's huge for everybody. All League One teams are like, hey, we have an opportunity because normally you buy into a league, and the difference between the League One and USL Championship is a lot. So now you have an opportunity for maybe do a little bit extra investment in your first team to make that leap to the higher division, which the value of the franchise immediately will go up a lot. Um, yeah, that's an interesting part. We're already building on it. We're trying to to see what type of players we need to win it that year. And it's still not clear how many teams will promote and relegate, but we all know that at least the champion and the number last from the number last from the USL Championship and the champion from League One, they will switch. That is something that we all know. But maybe there's a playoffs, maybe there's number one and two. We don't know yet. But so we're building for becoming champions in the promotion relegation year, and that's hard.
Beautiful. And it's you were planning this before the news got out or immediately after it was confirmed that the USL.
Yeah, that's funny because the voting was already going on for almost months, years maybe before us. But the league is a smart organization. The USL is a very good and smart organization who really is building a sustainable soccer pyramid in the US. That they were negotiating with the teams because you need to understand if you're a League One, which is the third division, and you can promote to Division Two, you will always say yes. But imagine you're a Division Two USL Championship team, and you can only relegate. Why would you say yes to that plan? They were all, not all, but most of them were always against it, against promotion relegation, because it only hurts their franchise. Instead, there's no benefits for them. There's only damage. It's only like I can relegate. I can't promote because back then the second division was the highest for USL. The USL tackled that with implementing Division One. So the USL Championship teams could also win. They can go Division One. And by giving them that opportunity and their franchise value to grow, uh, it was already easier. There were only four clubs left in the last few months that didn't want to vote yes. Thing is, the USL, as a good organization, only needed super majority, that is 65 or 75%, which they already had, but they wanted 100. They wanted everybody to stand behind the plan, which is good. As a league, that is good because there's no team that's going to spread negative news about this or anything. Everybody agreed. And so we already knew it was coming. And of course, we were preparing, but the league was really good in this, negotiating with all the teams that were against to try to find ways so that everybody could agree. And a huge kudos for that to the league for doing it. Yeah, they're really good. The USL is really a league for the teams, and that's why it's grows so rapidly.
Beautiful, Danny. To be honest, thank you so much for this these
Thank
insights,
you.
valuable interview where we learned your leadership strategy from how you built it and the traits you built in sales to defining today the leadership culture at Westchester SC, outlining and explaining to us the vision for Westchester SC, how the community needs Westchester Soccer Club, how the community will help to build the team into a successful and sustainable organization, and also discussing to us about how Westchester SC will plan to win and get promoted to Division One. So we look forward to also doing a part two
Yeah,
interview
let's do it.
once it's promoted to Division One.
Yeah, let's do it. Super thanks for taking the time for me. I enjoyed it. We should do it indeed more often, and appreciate it a lot.
Thank you so much, Danny.